Good day everyone! Today we will going to present and discuss to you the primary and secondary sources. But before we start for our entire discussion, we would like first to introduce ourselves to all of you. Hello! I'm Jessa Ilano Barsanas, first year student taking Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Science.
Hi, my name is Joanne Dangkalan Baliwag, but you can call me Jo for short. I'm first year college in the secondary education, major in mathematics.
Our topic is all about primary and secondary sources. First, I'll present to you our for today's objectives. Our first objectives, we will define primary and secondary sources. Our second objectives, we will present to you the examples of primary and secondary sources. And then next, we will discuss the difference between primary and secondary sources. Lastly, we will identify the advantages and disadvantages between primary and secondary sources. So let's come now to our discussion. In reading, writing, and analyzing the relevant information happened in the history, especially in researches, we have to come into different sources in order for us to make a conclusion and ideas whether this information is true, important, and accurate. Sources has its two types, the primary and secondary sources. As we define primary sources provide raw information and first-hand testimony or direct evidence concerning an historical topic under research investigation. It's considered as the most credible in terms of providing evidence for your argument. Hence, primary sources are valuable to historians. Ginagamit nila ang primary sources para magkaroon sila ng matibay na batayan sa pag-interpret at pagsusuri ng mga nangyari sa nakaraan. Let us now define what is secondary sources. Secondary sources are works that analyze, assist, or interpret an historical event, era, or phenomenon, generally utilizing primary sources to do so. This was often in a review and critique. Take note, the main purpose of secondary sources is to interpret or explain the meaning of information in primary sources. Secondary sources will help you to understand a person's life as well as how and why an historical event happened. Yung primary sources will become secondary sources once na yung information na nakuha natin doon, ipinag-interpret na natin at ilagyan pa natin ng ibang ideya na galing sa ibang sources.
Hi, good morning. This time I will discuss about the primary and secondary sources, the examples. These are included a primary example. I mean primary source like diaries, speeches, journals, letters, autobiographies, memoir, article, reports, government documents, sound recording, and interview, and other creative works na kung saan sila mismo yung naka-experience ng event or nandoon sila during the event. And the secondary source, it included the textbook, biographies, commentaries, criticism, or review of literary creative work like the criticism of review of literary, like example, yung libro na History of Filipino Peoples. I think sikat po siya. Then, by the way, take note, the primary source is a first-hand or original work. Then, the secondary source is other-hand or may nangyayaring processing of information. May nababago or may napapalitan, nadadagdagan. Yun po yung secondary source. Ang primary, ito yung mabigat na credential na bawal mabago or madagdagan. I hope na naintindihan nyo ng mabuti, and thank you for listening to me. Have a nice day to all. Thank you.